So up until now I have covered the list data structure. Today we will take a look at the other data structure called tuple. I'm going to open a new Python notebook. Okay, I'm going to rename this as, so if you want to rename, just click on here. Okay, if you click over here, it will ask you the new notebook name. So I'm going to say day 3. Okay. So first of all, what is a tuple? What is a tuple? So we know what is a list. List is immutable. Sorry, list is mutable. And using list, you can store different data types. You can store more than one value. You can store different data types in it. And also list is called as an iterable. What do you mean by iterable? List is also called as an iterable. So any object which you can iterate it, you want to fetch the data one after another, we call that as an iteration or iterable. Okay, any object that is iterable or that can be iterated are called as iterable. So we have seen the list comprehension yesterday. How many of you remember list comprehension? So in the case of list comprehension, we are able to iterate the list or the values, right? So we can iterate the values, and we can create a list also. Okay, and what is mutable? Once the elements are stored in list, that can be modified later. So that is what iterable. And also we have seen how to slice the list using index values, right? So we have seen how to select the range of values, how to select the first 3 elements, last 3 elements, or how to select all the values except last 1 or 3 values. All those things, whatever we tried as sort of string data type, the indexing, the same we tried with the list also. So next we will take a look at the tuple. So tuple or tuple, some people they say calls a tuple or tuple. So the tuple is used to store sequence of immutable Python objects. Okay, the tuple is also similar to list because the values of the items are stored in the list can be cannot be changed here, right? So sorry, in the list the items values can be changed, whereas the tuple, it is immutable, you can't change the values. So tuple is also called as an ordered. You can store the collection of ordered data elements in a tuple, and it is immutable, unchangeable, which means unchangeable. Tuples are we cannot modify the items, and you can store multiple data type, heterogeneous data types, and also it can contain duplicate values. Can we have a duplicate value in list? Can we have a duplicate values in list? Yes, we can have duplicate values in list, isn't it? Okay, let me just see in a list. Yes, we can have a duplicate values in a list. How do we remove a duplicate list? Sorry, how do we remove a duplicate values from a list? We will see little later. Okay, so now the using tuples are nothing but ordered collection of data. It can hold heterogeneous data type in it, and also it is immutable. You cannot modify the values once you store the data in a tuple, and it can have a duplicate values in it. The difference between list and tuples are so the list, if you to define a list, you need to use the square bracket, whereas In the case of tuples, you need to use parenthesis to define a tuple, but parenthesis is an option. For example, I have something called t is equivalent to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here I did not specify any parenthesis. I was able to assign more than one value to this variable t, but it is not a variable, actually it is a tuple. Okay, so here I did not specify the parenthesis, but you need to use parenthesis as per the Python documentation, right? So manual. So this is what they suggest. So so the difference between list and tuple is, to define a list we use square bracket. In tuple you will have to use the parenthesis. Other differences, lists are mutable. The values in the list can be changed, whereas the values in the tuple cannot be changed. The indexing is same as your list. For example, if you want to access the first element of the tuple, you can use square bracket to specify. You can specify the index. Okay, so whichever value that you want, right? So same as the slicing the values in your tuple is same as your list. Okay, for example, if I say 3 here, so 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and 0. So here, say the 2, 3, 4. Okay, and if I say 3 colon 5 comma 6, starting from the index value 3 to the rest of the values. Okay, and the next one is yeah, you can use the negative index value also here, -1. So if I say something like so -3 -1, -3 -1. What is -3 -1 here? So -1 is 6, and -5, sorry, -2, the right to left. This is the index value is -1, -2, -3. Here I mentioned about -3 -1. So the -3. What is the -3 index value? -1 -2 or 4, right? And colon -1, but it displays up to 5 only, right? So as per the rule, start value colon end -1, right? So end is -1, again -1, -1, -1 is -2. So it displays till this one only, 4, 5. If you want to display till the end, then you don't have to specify -1. Okay, colon, you need to give colon here. So 4, 5, 6. If you want to print starting from -3 index to the all the values except the last value, starting from the index value location -3 to till the last value -1. So that is what 4, 5. So all these things are same. Now let us take a look at this one. T of 0 is 2. The first value in the tuple is 2. To access this, we need to use the index value. So if you want to use an index value, you need to use the square bracket and followed by the tuple name. In this case, the tuple name is t and followed by this square bracket. And if I specify the index value, for the corresponding index, the value will be retrieved from the tuple. So t of 0, the first value, if you want to, if I retrieve it, I'll have to specify the index position of this value. The index position starts from, in Python, index value starts from 0, right? So 0. Okay, fine. Now I want to change it to 222. So what is equal sign is assignment operator. I want to replace the existing 2 by 222. Is it possible to do that? Look here, tuple object does not support item assignment. First of all, you cannot use equal sign. You cannot assign, or you cannot modify the value, or you cannot modify the value. The values cannot be modified. Whereas in the case of list, the same thing, I'm going to use it. here what I'm going to do is instead of L of 0, sorry, here L0, and the first value is 3, isn't it? So here I just go and modify it as 333 and L. So use in the case of list, you can modify the existing value, whereas in the case of tuple it is not possible. That's why it is called as immutable. We already discussed about other immutable object. Can someone tell me what was that object? Yesterday we discussed, right? We discussed about immutable object yesterday. What was that? Which data type? Which data type was immutable? We discussed the number of int data type, float data type, and also we discussed Boolean data type. And we discussed about complex data type. We did not discuss. Okay, I will tell you later. And then we discussed about list also. String data type also we discussed. Date data type we are yet to discuss. So can you tell me, did we discuss the immutable object or data type yesterday? How many of you remember it? See, yesterday night itself I uploaded the video. I don't know why you people are not, see guys, right? So attending punctually is not at all, good. See, there are students, they never attend, but they remember everything, okay? So string is an immutable object. We discussed about string, right? So after string is an immutable object. Like string, tuple is also immutable object. Remember this, don't forget it. So I would urge you all to please watch my video. Don't underestimate or don't disregard, okay? So please watch my video without fail and come back with questions. See, the target to you all is each one of you have to send minimum 3 questions on a daily basis to me, no matter how busy I am. Let me see, if you all, but don't send me the trivial thing. Give it a try, okay? And if you are not able to get answer in the internet also, then you come back to me, okay? That is the best way of doing it, because if you ask all small things, right, and tomorrow even if you send, right, something different, I'll think this is also a very simple thing, right? So maybe they can find the answer in the net, right? So give it a try. Sometimes the answer will be there in the net, but you will not be able to understand that. You can send it, so right, give it a try. Every day each person should send three questions to me. That way I can make sure that you're all preparing well. Okay, next one is t plus. Okay, can I find out the minimum value of this one? So let's say t dot min, is that available? So if you want to see the functions that are built-in functions that are available as part of each object, so you just type the object name. In this case the object is tuple t dot, and if you press tab you can see count or index, okay? So here's something called count. No, count is a function. Count of 2 or count of 3. So even okay, count is, I'm not sure why the count is used. And index, you can use index of 2 0. Index of 2 is 0, no, so something. Let me do one thing. When you type list, so what is the list name here? L, followed by the list name L. If you type dot and press tab, you will get various options here, okay? The functions, what are the functions that you can use it? Append, clear, copy, already we discussed about this. You try all these functions. Extend I did not cover it. Count also I did not cover it. Try all these functions. Remove, sort, for example, if I use sort here and if I type L here, it will give me this one. But whereas in the case of t dot sort, we don't have that function is available here, okay? So that one, not all the functions are supported in tuple, like the functions that are available in list, okay? All the functions that are available in built-in functions, available in list, that are not available in your tuple. Okay, next one is let me just t of so you cannot modify the value and you cannot delete the value. So del t of 0, if I say like this, you cannot delete the value, you cannot modify, you cannot delete. Whereas in the case of list, can I delete the value? Yes, right? So you can use del function to delete the value. To verify that, we will check 3, 4, 5, 6, 333. It started with 3, right? So duplicates, 2 3s were there, 1 3 got removed because the first 3 got removed here. L of 0, del, using del you can remove a value from a list, and we have remove function is also available. L dot remove is also available. And how do I remove a variable? For example, a is equal to 10 and b is equivalent to 5 and c is equivalent to a plus b. Okay, now if I see, now both the a plus b's values available in C. Now I don't need the variable a and b, I need only C. So del a, del b, and print C. $15. So 10 plus 5, 15. After I computed the value of both the a and b, and I stored in C, I don't need any longer these two values, these two variables, because these two variables consumes memory. So what I do is I delete these. So how do I delete a variable? Using del. How do I delete a specific element in a list? You can use del. Can I delete a specific value in a tuple? You cannot do it. You cannot modify also. You cannot delete the value. Can I insert a value in a tuple? So here I'm going to say, I'll just type for our sake. So these are the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the index value. T of 4, if I give 6, right? So here what I do is plus equivalent to let us say, I'm going to say 555, comma not callable. I think you can use it. No, t plus equivalent to, yes. Now look here, I can insert a value in a tuple, though I cannot delete or modify the values in a tuple. So I am allowed to insert the value in an existing tuple. You need to remember this. This is very important. So how did I do this? T, my tuple name, plus equal sign. What is plus equal? This is called your incrementer operator. Incrementer. So we in C language, right? Incrementer. This is equivalent to T is equivalent to T plus 555. Comma. Why comma after 555? If you don't give 555, if you don't give comma followed by 555, it is kind of a syntax error. It will not work. It will throw an error. For example, if I click on it and if I remove the comma here, see, can only concatenate tuple, not to tuple. So here, so this is nothing but, so I'm going to concatenate this value, right? So t plus 5. So the comma is, you need to remember it. So in the case of tuple, if you want to concatenate any value with your existing tuple, you need to specify comma followed by the value inside the parenthesis. You got it? So you can, so look here, so since I executed more than once, 2 times the same value got concatenated. So 555. So you can insert the value, but you cannot delete or modify value. Hence tuple is called your immutable object. Got it? So next one is, we will take a look at dictionary. So what is dictionary in Python? Dictionaries are ordered collection of values using which we can store values in key value pairs. Using which we can store the values in key value pairs. What do you mean by key value pair? So in the case of list, look here. In the case of list, we define the values as 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I wanted to access any one of the values in this list, I need to use the appropriate index value. For example, if you want to retrieve 4, what is the index value for this? The index values are assigned automatically or behind the scene by Python for the list and tuple. If I say square bracket 0, 1, this is the 0th index, 3, the index 1 points to 2, index 2 points to this, index 3. If I say L of 3, what is this? Why it gives me 5? Okay, let me just 0, 1, 2, 3, right? 4, yeah, something wrong here. Okay, not something wrong because I executed down the line, right? Say something, the same list, but that list has different value. So that is the problem. So the 0, 1, 2, 3, third position is 4, the index position. The index 4, index 3 points to 4, the value 4. So using the index value, you can access the values that are available in your list. But whereas in the case of dictionary, we are going to define the key. The index is kind of a key. Using this index value, we are able to access the value. Instead of, in the case of dictionary, index is not supported. Instead, we define the keys, on our own. Okay, we create our own keys to access the specific values in a dictionary. That's why the dictionaries, the values that are available in, so that's why we define the key value pair in dictionary, because you cannot use index value. Okay, so instead we use key to access any specific value. Okay, so each element in a dictionary consists of key and value pair. Dictionaries must be enclosed in curly braces. This is what your curly braces. The next one is the key values must be separated by key and values must be separated by colon, and the keys must be, one more rule is keys must be unique. The keys must be, you cannot have duplicate values for the key. The next one is dictionaries or mutable. So we discussed so far about two immutable objects. One is the tuple, other one is string, and the immutable objects are like list, and now we are saying we are going to look at the dictionary. These are all, the dictionary and list are mutable object. Okay, so next we will take a look at how we'll create some sample dictionary. So what I am going to do is I'm going to say something like fruits is equivalent to, I'm going to say something like apple. So we have something like 22, and mangoes colon 100 kgs of mango is available, 22 kgs of, you just think that way. Okay, and the apple is the key and 22 is the value, mangoes is the key and 100 is the value. And the next one is pears. Type function type function will return the data type of the variable. Okay, enclosed in dictionaries or enclosed in line 2. So this is my line 2. Something wrong here. Apples colon 22, then this one mangoes colon 100. Okay, so here let me use single quote. Sometimes the quote can also cause some issues. No, it is causing some problem here. That is not a comment, right? It is getting confused with this one. So here, see, ideally what you can do is, I'll tell you one more thing. If you want to specify comments as a headline, right, like a HTML title, you click on here, markdown. Click on markdown. So the star is markdown related thing. If I hit run, look here, it became a title. So that will be very neat. It's kind of a book. You can refer it. Oh, the following one contains dictionary related code, and these are the definition for dictionary. So our dictionaries, you need to use braces. This is kind of a title. Okay, the star will tell you, right? It's kind of something like bullets, and you can use all the HTML tags if you are familiar with HTML tag. For example, if I specify one more hash, the size of your title will get increased or decreased. So if you say look here, the more the hash, the font size get reduced. It's something like heading. Okay, hash. So simple. If you are familiar with HTML tags, you can use them here. Okay, markdown is for specifying the HTML related, or a heading. You can specify the heading for each cell. Okay, or set of cells. So here fruits, right? So the type of fruits is a dict data type, so which is nothing but your dictionary. Okay, so if I wanted to change the value to any one of them here, okay, so how do I change the value here? Let us see if we can use index here. 0, no, because dictionary does not support index. Instead of the index, we define the key. The keys are something like your index. Okay, using the keys you can access any specific value in your dictionary. For example, apple is a key. What is the value for the apple in my dictionary? So the value for the key apple is 22. Okay, this is how you need to access it. And if I want to delete any value from this dictionary, you can still use del, and you need to use the fruits, the key. You need to use the key to delete the items. And if I say fruits, yes, look here, I just deleted the key only, but along with the key, the value also got removed. Along with the key, the value also got removed. Okay, so you remember this. So next one is there any way if I can insert the value into my dictionary? Fruits, what you can do is here, let me do one thing here. I removed, okay. On the rights, if I say 15, look here, this is how you can insert a value into your dictionary. So by inside the square bracket, you specify the key, and then you need to specify the value on the right side of your equal sign. Okay, if I try, I'll try to insert the same thing again. 25. And if I hit the run, and if I put this one here, and if I hit run, So what happened here? So already inserted pineapple. The key was pineapple and the value was 15. It got inserted. The new key value pair got inserted into my existing dictionary fruits. So when I try to insert the same key value pair, what happens is before it tries to insert this new key value pair, it goes and checks whether this key is already present in my existing dictionary. It is there, right? Hence what it does is it is not going to insert this key value pair one more time. Instead, what it does is it overrides the value for the key pineapple, because pineapple was already there, right? So in that case, why should I insert the key once again? The key is unique in dictionary. Remember this. You cannot have duplicate keys in your dictionary. So what happens? Simply it has overwritten the 15 by 25. It did not disturb the pineapple. Okay. So the next, now we have seen how to insert a key value pair into a dictionary, how to define a dictionary, how to insert a value in a dictionary, how to modify the value in a dictionary, how to remove the value in a dictionary, and also we have just now explored that we cannot have a duplicate key in a dictionary. Since we are able to delete the values since we are able to delete the key in your dictionary, right? What happens is along with the key, the value also getting removed. Since we are able to delete or modify the values in your existing dictionary, dictionaries are called as mutable object. Okay, and the next one more thing is here you can use something called update also. I remember update, we have used it in one of the projects. For example, fruits dot update. For example, the pineapple thing, sorry. Colon 24, something like that. Shift and enter. And fruits. Pineapple got, previously it was 25. Using update also you can do it. You can modify this value. And then we have something called pop item. Fruits dot pop. If you want to remove a specific key, okay, you can use either the so apple 22. Okay, if you want to one second, let me just, if you want to remove a specific key, you have two options. One is del, the other option is pop, followed by your dictionary name. You need to specify dot, and then you need to use the pop function. Inside the pop function, you need to specify the key. So for the along with the key, the value also got removed. Next, if you to check what is the, after removing this, what are the key value pairs that are available in my dictionary, you need to type your dictionary name here and then hit run. You can see that apple and the corresponding value also got removed. Okay, and we have something else called pop item. If you want to randomly delete the value from your dictionary, so anyhow, since already we have only two key value pair, I am going to execute this one so that we will have three key value pairs. I am going to execute this now, and here now I am going to use something else called pop item. Simply if I give like this, And if I see fruits, see here we have the PS, right? So pop item, it removed the last item by default. If I execute it one more time, what will mangoes got removed, right? From the rear, it removes the values, key value pair. So first it removed the PS and the corresponding value, and then when you execute it one more time, the dictionary name dot pop item, the next rear item got removed. Okay, so you can use pop function to delete a specific key. You can use pop item to delete the values randomly or from the rear side. If you want to delete it, you can do it. Okay, so this is how you can play around with the dictionary. And we have discussed about list comprehension. How many of you remember? We discussed about list comprehension. Same way, in dictionary also, we have some dictionary comprehension. That feature is available here. For example, I'm going to say the keys or something like 5, 7, 8, 12 and 14, something like that. You can use a list also, okay, to define the key value pair. So here are the values. I'm going to say values is equivalent to 100, 200, 101, 102, 103, 104. Next, what I'm going to do is, so Dict Comprehension. I'm going to say K colon V, concatenate V with K for every key value pair in zip. There is a function called zip. Using zip function, you can combine more than one value list. In this case, we have defined list, right? So values. Look here. I have created two lists here. One list I named it as keys. Other list I named it as a values. So here, how many values? 5 keys are there. For each key, we have, for all these 5 keys, we have assigned the corresponding values. So these two are list. Look here, using dictionary the comprehension. So how am I going to convert these lists into dictionary? Using dictionary comprehension. Okay, so look here, like list comprehension, even in the case of dictionary comprehension, you need to specify the curly braces. See, in the case of list comprehension, you need to use square bracket, whereas in the case of dictionary comprehension, you have to use curly braces, because using curly braces only you can define the dictionary, isn't it? So now what I do is, I combine, zip will combine these two things. So this one, this list, comma this value, and then it takes each and every value. The for loop will iterate each and every value. First it takes 5 from this keys, and then it takes the first value from this second list, and then it combines these two things and separate these two values, 5 colon 100. So that is how it works. Look here. So the key is 5. See here, I just defined it manually, right? I just simply created, but programmatically, if you want to, let's say the values are available in list, and if you want to convert as a dictionary, you can do it. But with the dictionary comprehension feature, you can do it like this. Okay, fine. So now you learned all this, all the things, how to manipulate, how to define a dictionary, how to manipulate the values in a dictionary, and also we learned dictionary is a mutable object, and the key is supposed to be unique, and how to use dictionary comprehension. We have seen it. And the next one is so if I want to see, before we jump in, dict comp. So now my dictionary name is dict comp dot keys. If I want to select only the keys from the dictionary keys, there is a built-in function called keys that is available, using which you can find out only the keys. Look here the 5, 7 and 8, 12 and 14, all these are keys. If you want to view only the keys that are available in my dictionary, or if you want to see the list of keys in my dictionary, you can use keys function. Similarly, if you want to see the list of values, all the values, you want to see you want to see only the values in your dictionary, so use values, dot values function. These are the functions that are readily available, built-in function, values function and keys function. Okay, fine. So next one is we will take a look at something else called all these things we have seen it. Get. If you want to, there is a get function is available. So in this case, the dictionary name is age dot get baba. So what it does is it gives you the value for, if you want to see the value for a specific key, you can use get also. Okay, or instead of get and all, right, simply put age here, baba, it will give you that. This is an alternative way of seeing this. Next, we will take a look at sets. So what are sets in Python? So sets are, one second, let me just see. Sets is also it holds the collections of data. Okay, unordered collections of data. Set is an unordered collection data type. It holds an unordered collection of unique elements. Like list and dictionary, set is also iterable. So what do you mean by iterable? So look here, I can iterate the values, right? So I can iterate the values in a dictionary also, right? And even in the case of list, we are able to iterate the values. So what do you mean by iterate the values? I'll just type it one more here. For example, L1 is equivalent to square bracket list comprehension. I'm going to define the list comprehension again here. So here I into 2 for I in L, and then L1. So I want to create a new list based on the existing list, but I want to create a new list based on the existing list, but I want to multiply each and every value in my existing by 2. For this I've used it. So 3 into 2 is 6, and 2 into 2 is 4, and 3 into 2 is 6, and 4 into 2 is 8. One second. So here what happens is, okay, forget about this one, the multiplying that and all. For example, if I just want to print each and every value 3 to 3 to 3, if I want, so what happens in this case, it will, when I use for loop, right, for each element, I is kind of element, okay, it goes and fetch each element one after another. It fetches the values one after another. First it takes 3 for I in L. So first element in L is 3 and second element is 2. So the I is kind of a print here, okay, and 3, 4, 5. So since we are able to iterate means select or fetch the values one after another, right? That is what called as iteration. Okay, so the list is in that, because of which, since you are able to iterate the values which we stored it in list, we call it the iterable. List is an iterable. You can see first in the for loop, what happens is we use for loop to retrieve the values one after another. Okay, each and every values in your list, if you want to retrieve it, what happens is we are using something like for loop. To perform some repeatable action, we use for loop. So for loop, what it does is, here for what happens is, it goes in the list, right, in the specified list, the for, what it does is, it takes the first element and then it prints it, and then it goes to the second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element, sixth element. Since using for loop, we are able to iterate. Iterate is, repeat the values. First you select 3 and then repeat the same action but fetching the second element, and again repeat by selecting or fetching the third element. So iteration, since you are able to iterate the values in your list is called as iterable. Even in the case of dictionary, we have seen we can iterate the values in a dictionary, and right, so these are called iterable. So set is also iterable, like dictionary and list. Set is also an iterable, and it is mutable, and it should not contain any duplicate. I just put what is set? Set is an unordered collection data type. It is iterable, like a list and dictionary, and the next one is mutable. You can change the values once you store it, and it should contain only unique values. And how do I define a set? Define a set using curly braces. Like dictionary, even set also you need to define it with curly braces, or we can use set function itself. There is set is available. It returns. Look here. So this is the one. For example, I am going to create a set by the name of S1, and the curly braces, inside the curly braces, I am going to say Raja and Mahesh and type of S1 set. It is a set data type or data structure. We are supposed to say structure, data structure. When it comes to set, list, dictionary, tuple, all these things falls under data structure. Okay, the S1 is a set data structure. Now we will take a look at the values of the set S1. Simply type S1 and hit run. You can see the values stored. See here, automatically it sorted it, right? So B comes first, M comes next, and R comes at the end. Okay, and now if you want to access the specific value, it is not possible. Set is not subscriptable, which means you cannot use index. Set do not support index here. Okay. Okay, and also, so you cannot have duplicate values in your. So for example, here I am going to say again Bob. See, Gilbert asks a question. Even for set, we are using curly braces. How the Python kernel will know? See, we know very well, right? In the case of dictionary, you are supposed to specify the key value pair. Key value pair. Though we use curly braces for both dictionary as well as set, in the case of dictionary, you have to specify key value pair. Here, you don't have to specify the key value pair. That is the difference, right? With this, it will be able to understand. Okay, Python kernel will understand. Which one is dictionary and which one is set. Okay, now since you asked this question, I am going to create something else. And create a new variable called s2, and I'm going to initialize this with curly braces. See, yesterday in the last session we discussed how do I create an empty list. How to create an empty list. L2, specify the list name on the left side of your equation. It can be L2 or anything. On the right side, simply specify the square bracket, blank square bracket. Okay. So now we will check the print type of S2. Now you tell me what data type S2 is all about. So what value it will return? Sorry, here type of L2. L2 is a list and S2 is a dict by default. Okay, so that's a good question in one way, right? Yeah. So if you specify this one, the curly braces, empty curly braces, or if we initialize a variable with the empty curly braces, right? So this is called your dictionary. By default, it is a dict. Okay, and I'm going to say in that case, how do I define a set? You need to use set function. So type of S3. Set. Since the curly braces is used to define both dictionary as well as set, and if you initialize a variable with curly brace, by default it will be considered as an empty dictionary. Okay, that is the difference, you should be knowing it. Okay, how should I initialize a set? I want to create a blank set. Into explicit set function. Okay, and then the next thing is, how can I is it possible to add value to my existing set? So you have add function that is available. Add here something like we will try with some numeric value. Yes, we are able to add different data types also, text and integer data type. And if I wanted to remove some values, because set is a mutable object, remove for example 20. If I want to remove it, after removing it, what values are there in my set? Look here, you can remove the value, and if you want to find out the length of this one, you can find out len of t. Already we defined tuple, and yet you can see the total number of elements that are there as part of your tuple or list or set. You can use the len function. Len function is available for all these data structures. Okay, and the pop is also available. For example, s1 dot pop function, if I give, simply if I give, what happens is it will pop out, it will pop the random value. So Bob and Raja is there, but randomly it removed some values. Okay, the Mahesh it removed. So with this we are able to understand, using remove function or pop, we can remove the values, but the pop function randomly removes. It is not going exactly from right to left or left to right. Okay, randomly it deletes some values using pop function. And we have something called clear function is also s1 dot clear, like in list. Here also the same thing is available. Yes, s1 is a empty set now. Yeah, so Mukilan asked this question. Mukilan's question is, the same operation we can do it with the index list, but why we need set? But in set we cannot use index, right? That is the one difference. In list we can use index. Using indexing you can fetch any value, and list comprehension is available. And apart from this, in the case, sorry, okay, in the case of list, if you wanted to remove any value, any duplicate value in your list, right, so you can still write some program to remove. You can write some for loop and identify some values and remove that. But if you want to remove the duplicate, it's pretty simple with set. See here I have L1, right? Yeah, so now L1, the list L1 has two duplicate values. If I specify set of L1, it removes the duplicate values, because set cannot hold the duplicate values. The other difference is index operation is not possible, and with set, whereas with the list, index operation is possible. Okay, so that is the difference here. And what other thing we can see it here now? We can see the set comprehension also. Okay, and okay, so here my set has S1. Okay, so here. Okay, so you might be asking this question. Okay, so what kind of scenario can I use list? What kind of scenario we can use set? So it is up to you. Okay, and if you wanted to use, if you want to have some duplicate values, okay, in your list, for example, price or any particular condition, when to use sets? Yes, I'm answering that question, Mukilan. So right, so what kind of scenario can I use list? When should I use list? When should I use set? If you want to have some duplicate values in your list, you can go for duplicate values in your data set. You can go for list. For example, price. The same price. You can set same price for more than one product, right? So in that case, obviously you need to have duplicate values. You cannot use set in that kind of situation. Okay, and also with indexing, you can do a lot of things, right? Since you cannot do indexing, it is quite challenging here, right? So in the case of set, if you want to retrieve a specific value, it is a bit challengeable here. Okay, so in that kind of situation, you can go for this kind of thing. And the set using set, if you want to remove some duplicate, I don't want to have the duplicates, then you can go for set. And also we have set comprehension. Set comprehension is available here. And supposing I have something like set 3 is equivalent to something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here I want to create a set comprehension. So you need to use curly braces, because using curly braces only you can convert a list. See here I have used a list. How to convert a list into set? So you need to use curly braces. You need to pass list as an argument your curly braces, right? So in that case, what will happen? For example, yes, for I in the set 3, if I %2 is equivalent to double equals 0. So I want to store only the even values, okay, into my set. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and now set comp 2468. Set comprehension is also possible. Dictionary comprehension is also possible, and list comprehension is also possible. In both dictionary and set comprehension, we can use a list, but if you surround a list by curly braces, it will become a set automatically. So that is what we can see it here, right? So we are done with sets also. These are the, we explored all these all the features of set. Okay, so we have something else called frozen sets. Frozen sets, I don't know if that is available in this version. Frozen sets in Python are immutable. Okay, for example, if I have something called num is equivalent to set of 1 comma 2 comma 3 and type num set only. If I say something like num dot add 5, okay, it is possible. Okay, one, 2, 3, 5. We are still able to add. 1 second, let me just check how to define frozen set. There is something called frozen set. I don't remember it. I used it long back. Frozen set in Python. Immutable version of Python. Well, okay, so frozen set, and see the Geeks for Geeks is also a very good site where you can find lot of things here. You can go and explore all the things. See, frozen set, yeah, the syntax is frozen set, not set. Okay, here you need to use frozen set. But here we are able to, so yeah, here, so let me do one thing, num of 1 comma 2 comma 3, and here I just say nu. Frozen set. So the next one is num of add of 5. Look here, frozen object has no attribute add. First of all, there is no add function that is available with frozen set. You can make the set also as a immutable object, but your set supposed to be a frozen set. Okay, and next we will see the union with set function. See, yeah, Mukilan, you asked this question, right? The when should I use set, when should I use list? This is the important thing. So using set, you can do union, you can compare the set, one set with other set, and you can find out the common values between the set, and you can find out the symmetric difference of two sets. So that is these are the advantages of using sets. So for example, in my case I have S1, right? So S1, okay, S1 is equivalent to something like I put 2 comma 3 comma 4, and I'm going to create another set is equivalent to S2 is equivalent to 5 comma 6 comma 7, and if I want to use S1, I think pipe will do this S1 S2. Look here, yeah, this pipe symbol is kind of union, okay, using which you can combine the two sets value. This is how you can perform union operation. You can combine both the sets values, okay. But now the question is, can I use S1 plus S2? It is not possible. We cannot compare two list values. Yes, you can compare two list values, but you need to use for loop, okay. You can use nested for loop, right? So using which also you can compare the list, but it is not straightforward. It is not straightforward. You need to use a loop, for loop and all, and then only you can do it, okay. So for example, if I want to do some kind of comparison, okay, and S1 is less than or equal to S2, something like that, okay, false. you can compare it, S1 is less than or equal to, or if I say S2 is less than or equal to S1, even in this case it is doing this, or we can do some we can use some text values also. Here S2 is not less than or equal to S1, S2 is greater than S1, false. S2 is greater than or equal to, okay, because here let me do one thing. Here let me put 4 and 6 7. Okay, here you cannot use you can use syntax greater than or equal to, supposed to be like this, false. S2 is see, it depends on the elements that are there in your thing. Okay, so here you can say, right, for example, simply we can say 2 comma 3 comma 4. Let's assume that way. Okay, so S2 is equivalent to S1, something like that. Okay, true, right? Both of them are directly, you can compare it. Okay, supposing you have 5 comma 6, and so with a simple thing you can check it out, or the values in both sets are same. No, you can do it. So we have L, list L and L1. So can we do the same thing? L is equal to L1. Is it possible to do that? Comparison operator. You need to use double equal because we want to compare the values in both the list. Shift and enter. True, you can do it here also, list. But using set, you can do union. You can do union. So here, if you do L plus L1, you can combine the, it is kind of, the concatenating the values, right? So L plus L1 and L equal to L1, or if you want to find out the common values, okay, or the common values, we have something called minus. For example, S2 minus S1, 5 comma 6. In set 2, see what is the, what is S2 minus S1? If I subtract the S1 from S2, what will happen? We are left with 5 6. Can I do the same thing with the list? L minus L1, L minus L1, it is not possible, right? So that's why set is more robust in the sense, right, you can perform all kind of set related operator. That's why it's called a set in Venn diagram, right? How many of you remember Venn diagram? So the A union B, A intersection B, all those things you can do it here. And also you can find out the symmetric difference. What do you mean by symmetric difference? There is a method called symmetric method. So for that we use something called caret sign. So for example, S2, S1, symmetric difference. If you want to find out the symmetric difference, 5 comma 6. Okay, so what is symmetric difference? I just put it in something like this. Here, so the uncommon value, okay, so not the intersection, not this value, excluding the intersection, excluding the common value, rest of the value in both A and B will get displayed, okay, excluding the common value. So what are the common value? That's what it did, right? In the case of S2, S1, the common values between these two are 2, 3, 4. It excluded the common value. This is the one, it excludes the common value. The rest of them it displays. The 5 comma 6 it displayed. For example, here I put 7 comma 8. And if I come back here and if I see 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is called symmetric difference. Okay, so so far we have seen union, and we are able to compare one set with the other set, and also we can use minus and we can find out the symmetric difference also. And if I want to find out the intersection, I want to display only the common value. Is it possible? How do I do that? So let's say I'm going to say set3 is equal to s2 dot intersection. We have something called intersection function is available. I'm going to say s1 and I'm going to set3 2 3 4. Is that correct? Yes, 2 3 4 is common between these two set, since it is with intersection function. Okay, intersection, and this is your symmetric difference. And this one is union. I think union is also, there is a union function is available. Let us do one thing. S1 dot union S2, and then S1, let me see. Yes, union. There is a function by the name of union itself available, like intercept. Even for symmetric difference, that is available. Okay, symmetric difference. Sorry, here S2 dot symmetric difference S1 look here, there is a function called symmetric difference itself available. The other alternative is you can use the caret sign. Okay, it is difficult to remember the caret and all, or if you remember this you can do it. Okay, symmetric difference. And then we have something else called intersection update method. Okay, so in the case of intersection update method, it removes the items from the original set that are not present in both sets. We will see to that now. And so here I simply copy paste this one. Instead of intersection, I put intersection update. It is not giving me anything. Okay, we will have to have one more set in this case. So here I'm going to create okay, set 3 is already available, right? Let me do one thing. Set 3 is available. Okay, here I'm going to use set 4. Set 4, yeah, intersection update, you need to specify more than one argument here, S1, S2 and set 4. Sorry, this is set 3. It is not giving any value here because set 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 is available. Okay, let me do one thing. We will create a separate list. This is my set 3. Or I'll create something like A is equivalent to, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5, and B is equivalent to 5, 8, 11, and C is equivalent to 22, 24, and 5. Here what I'm going to do is a dot intersection update. B comma C. It gives me 5. Okay. So what happens here is it removes the values from the original set, right, in the A. So what happens is find out the common values across all these 3 sets, and it retains only the common value in your set A. It removes the rest of the values. That is what your intersection update. So don't ask me what kind of situation I can use it. So it depends on your requirement. You want to compare, let's say you are given 3 different price lists. In the price list, right, for the same product, different prices, okay, and the common price, right, the price which matches for all these 3 seasons. Listen, season 1, season 2, season 3. In quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, each quarter, let's assume that for some products, irrespective of the quarter, the price will remain as it is. For some products, the price may change. You want to find out all the 3 quarters, which products price remains constant. That kind of situation you can use it. Next we will take a look at the conditional and control flow. The if statement, okay, so conditional and conditional programming. So what is conditional programming? What is conditional programming? So for example, in the real-time scenario, based on some conditions, you want to control your program flow. So in that kind of situation, we will have to use something like if. You want to make some decision based on some conditions, based on some conditions or criteria. You want to take the decision. In that kind of situation, the if condition is coming into picture. We have so to basically to control your programming flow. Okay, so in that kind of situation, we will be using if-else statement, if-else, nested if conditions. We will be using it. Okay, the syntax for the if condition. First, I'll write this one: control programming. You want to control your program flow. You will be using something called if condition and all. If condition, if the condition is true, so what you do is leave a tab here. See, in Python, it is very much important. You need to specify tab. You need to press tab. Okay, or what you do is press your space bar 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So after this is my if condition. So here in this case, after evaluating the condition, right, so whether it's a true or false, right, so next what will happen is the set of statements will get executed. So this is a syntax statements to execute if the condition is true. So here what we do is statement 1, statement 2, something like that. Okay, I just make this a markdown. So for example, I'm going to say A is equivalent to 8 if A is greater than, let's say A is greater than, I'm going to say 5. If this condition is true, what you do is A is equivalent to A plus 10 and then print A. So what we are doing is, so what I have done here is I have assigned the value 8 to a variable called A. Next what I'm going to check if the value 8. So A is holding the value 8, right? So here you just think, 8. 8 is greater than 5. Obviously 8 is greater than 5. Then what you do is, see, the if followed by, you need to specify the condition, and then followed by the condition you need to specify colon. This is mandatory. In other programming languages, instead of colon they use curly braces. So where the body of your if condition starts. So my if where the statements you need to specify it, right? So this is my if condition. If condition is true, so A is greater than 5, it will return true or false. In this case, since the 8 is greater than 5, the condition becomes true. Hence, the control will come here. It will execute the set of statements or the block of code that belongs to your if block. Right? This is called if block. For the statements that belong to if block will get executed if the condition is true. Okay, and let us see what happens here. Yeah, this is for other program, curly braces. Since in the case of Python, you don't have to use open curly braces, closed curly braces. Instead, all you need to specify only colon. But when you the advantage of other programming languages, when you specify the curly braces in other programming language, the advantage is where it starts, where it ends, we know that. So in that case, you don't have to leave the tab and all here, right? So you can type it here itself. Since in Python we don't use the end curly braces or open curly braces, you need to leave the tab for each statement that belong to your if block. This is my if block. Only then this one will get it. So here I have leave for this statement 1, statement 2. For these two statements, I left a tab here. Let me execute this one. Yes, 18. So 8 plus 10 is 18. Since A is greater than 5, it returns true. The Boolean value is true. And since true is there, these two statements get executed. So 8 plus 10 is 18. That 18 gets stored here. I want to use print function to print the value 18 here. Supposing if A is less than 5, so what will happen? So this condition will return false. If the condition is written false, if the condition returns false, then you need to use else block. The else block, you need to say print. Okay, so in this case, what you need to do is you need to use this one. Let's say I'm going to copy paste this one here. So here also I am leaving the curly. So here I say print something like it is not true. First of all, the control will not come here, okay? Because this condition returns false, automatically the control will come to else part. Else colon, you need to specify colon here also, okay? And you need to, so make sure that this else should be typed in line with if here. Or if you specify tab here and if you click run here, it will throw an error, okay? Make sure that this else also typed in line with this if. If you leave tab here, it will cause confusions, okay? So for if block, you need to specify colon. The else also, and the else also followed by the else, you need to specify colon, which means the else block related statements follows the else block code or statements. The statements that belongs to else block follows from here. That is what it says, okay? If I click on this, look here, 18. Since A is not less than 5, it returns false. Hence the control comes to else block. These two statements get executed, okay? So this is how we can control the flow of our program. So the else, in the case of else, the if condition is false, the else block will get executed. You need to remember that. Okay, so you can use nested if condition also. Okay, you can use nested if condition, and we have something called elif function. Sorry, elif is available. Instead of using, for example, I just here what I'm going to do is else. Here what I'm going to do is else. Here I'm going to specify one more condition. If sorry, here it is not like that. Let us take some other example. Here, let's say a equal to 8. Okay, and print a plus, or let's say the condition is true. It's true. In the else part, I'm going to say something like this: else if a is okay. What I'm going to do is print a. If a is obviously 8 is not greater than 8, hence the condition will fail. And next what I do is I'm going to the control will come to else part. See, obviously here, right, if the condition is not true, then execute these statements. But I'm just forcing here. I'm putting another if condition. So I'm going to execute this one. So what happens here is 18. We are getting 18 here. So here also I'm putting this one. Or let's if the control comes here and a is less than 8. Okay. And then what it is, simply to demonstrate that I'm just using this one. Else put this one. Maybe this is not the correct example, but we can still, with this you should be able to understand. I'll explain it with this. Supposing you want to so a is greater than 8. No, condition is in this case the condition is false, right? So condition is false. It is not going to execute this statement. Automatically the control will come to else. And the else also I'm going to use another if condition. Okay, if a is less than 8, obviously 8 is not less than 8. 8 is not greater than 8. So hence the control is not coming here. So it goes to the next else part. So we have multiple. So this is called your nested if. Okay, nested if else. So here else, in the else part, a is equal to 10, print a 18. We are getting it 18. So what we can do is, you can compare some age, something. If age is something greater than, less than 18, they are not eligible for, voting. Or if the people, or something like some other, conditions, you can try it out. And so these are, instead of, writing if else again, we have something called elif. Right, so instead of writing else and if separately, we can combine these two things into a single line. So if else elif. So this else should also be typed in line with that one. So the else also in this case, right, you need to type it in line with elif. So this is the another way of writing your nested if statement, okay, if else statement. So instead of writing else and followed by the else again writing if, you can combine these two things. elif a is less than 8, execute this one. If this condition fails, then the control should go to this else part, this else block. Okay, so in this else block we have two statements, this one get executed. This is the simplified version. Instead of writing else if again else if, right, it is not much helpful. Okay, so for example, in the case of insurance, you want to compute the medical insurance, you want to find out for different age group what is the premium amount. So if age is less than less than or greater than 18 and less than 24, you can write multiple conditions, right? In that kind of situation and all, you will be needing multiple or nested if statement. Okay, so this is how you can write your if conditions. Okay, and we have something called ternary operator. So we have something called ternary operator. Instead of specifying like this, and write a ternary operator. In this case, what we will do is, for example, I have something called a comma b. Instead of defining the values separately, it's 10 comma 20. And what I am going to do is I am going to use the ternary operator. Okay, so print a if a is a is less than b. A is less than b, else you need to specify else here, else b. So here, if the condition is true, print this value. The condition is false, then print this value. For example, if I say a greater than b, 20. So here the condition fails. The 10 a's value is 10, whereas b's value is 20. Obviously 10 is not greater than 20, hence the condition fails. The control comes here, it prints this one. So this is a much more simplified version than this one. Okay, and also you can specify one more if also here. Okay, one more condition also here. Okay, you can specify if a is equivalent to b, you can specify, you can print here, print b, else print a, something like that. Okay, if or okay, for example, if a is okay, this is not required. Let's not complicate this. At this moment, you can understand this one, ternary operator. Okay, so you can specify instead of having the separate block for if, right? So you can specify. But the disadvantage is if you want to execute multiple statements for the if block, then it is not possible. Okay, so here you cannot specify multiple lines of statement. So in that kind of situation, you need to use this one. For example, if the condition is true, look here. So what we did, okay, if the condition is true, I want to, or the condition is false, I want to execute these two statements. So in this case, two statements in real-time scenario, right? There are scenarios you will be having 15 lines of statements, 15 statements will be there. So in that kind of situation, this is not much helpful. Okay, so if you are just testing something, right, very simple one, that kind of situation you can go for ternary operator. So the ternary operator is also called as conditional expressions, conditional expressions. Okay, if you want to evaluate something based on condition, right? So with this being true or false, in that kind of situation, you can go for ternary operator like this. Okay, it's already 1:40, so we spent 1 hour 40 minutes. Right, I compensated more than what I promised, right? So we cancelled one session. I covered more than what I promised. So what you do is you watch today's video, and I will share today's the Python notebook, the day 3, and simply you can download it and then drag and drop it in your Jupyter notebook dashboard, and then start practice it. And then I would suggest refer Geeks for Geeks and some other sites, or Geeks for Geeks is good. You can go and practice all these things. Go beyond whatever I taught you. If you are completely new into programming, okay, practice everything. Okay, so it will help you to master the Python, or at least so far whatever I covered. If you practice it by going through other websites also, right, it will help you to master it. It will help you to understand the concepts very well. And the next week we will most likely, the plan is next week we'll try to complete Python. Okay, so we'll spend at least 2 hours. We will complete Python, and then followed by the next weekend we will start with the inference statistics. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, since you don't have any questions, I'm going to wrap up. See you next weekend.